Now, you all know we've been covering the homelessness crisis in California for months, and yet nothing seems to be improving despite all the money being thrown at the problem. And I'll tell you what's happening. The state leadership is failing the people. But Californians, well, I got to tell you, there is hope on the horizon because the Trump administration is preparing a sweeping plan to get the homeless off the streets of Los Angeles and other cities. It's all part of the president's push to renew urban America. It's music to our ears, and even places, by the way, that didn't vote for him. He's the president of all the people, right? Here with me now for more on this and some other interesting stuff that was happening at the White House. Got no coverage. Ben Carson, Secretary of the Housing and Urban Development. Dr. Carson, what can you tell us about what the president's passion here is and what is his ultimate goal?
Well, we've had multiple conversations about the homelessness situation, which seems to be worse in places where there's a lot of regulatory barriers. And California is a poster child for that. And if you go out there and you see some of those people on the street and you talk to them, you know, many of them simply are not capable of taking care of themselves. And, you know, we have to take some responsibility here. Now, generally, it's the responsibility of the locality, of the city, of the municipality to take care of people. But if that's not happening, you know, it devolves to another level. So if the city and the state are not taking care of it, the federal government is obviously going to have to do something. And the president is very passionate about doing something about
Even in places where they don't support him, didn't vote for him, probably won't vote for him, and that's kind of inspiring.
Yeah, he doesn't care about that. He looks at these people and recognizes that they're American citizens.
They're human beings.
And we have a responsibility to take care of them. Now, you know, that doesn't mean that we won't work with the localities. And, you know, I don't want to say specifically what's going to be done because I don't want to get out ahead of it. But obviously, we can't just leave people in those situations.
Well, Eric Garcetti, the Democrat, he welcomed a federal delegation. We're just learning about this in the Wall Street Journal. A federal delegation. My earring just fell off. This is kind of live TV, so I'll just put it back while I'm talking. This is what we women do. So a federal delegation was there, and he said that he welcomes the opportunity to work with the administration. But he was kind of
give us a lot of money, right?
Yeah, so that's the catch. I mean, they already planning $1.75 billion in their budget in June, right. And they want some help, I would imagine, from the federal government. But are you going to keep advocating that we pour money into California without real changes to how they deal with the homeless problem?
Well, of course, that's the definition of craziness, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. It's going to be the same result. What we really have to do is get to the root cause of the homelessness situation and deal with it. And as I've said before, you know, Tokyo, which has more people than New York City, has no homelessness. Now, you know, one of the left-wing organizations came out and said, Carson said there's no homelessness, but there's actually 0.019%. They found the 2 people who were homeless. But, you know, we actually have to be serious about dealing with these problems, and it can be done. It's a matter of taking advantage of the tremendous technology we have, removing the barriers.
Right now, they can't clear people out unless they have a place to put them. That's one of the regulatory burdens. There's a lot more that we don't have time to get into tonight. Yeah. I want to talk about what happened today at the White House. This is really exciting because we have the president coming forward again, getting very little coverage in the mainstream media on the historically black colleges and universities.
Absolutely.
And the faith-based ban on any federal funding. What did he do?
Well, you know, one of the first executive orders that he signed was transferring the Council on HBCUs back to the White House.
Historically black colleges and universities.
Just to show you the priority that's been put on it. He's asked all the different agencies to do what they can to help with the universities. And, you know, there were probably 500 or 600 people there in that room. Now, do you think you will hear that story? There were a lot of news outlets. You think you'll hear the story? Of course not.
Now, Hollywood celebrities will say he doesn't care about black people. I mean, this is the constant refrain. And they're saying it, Secretary Carson. I think they're really afraid of the needle moving even a little bit in Trump's direction in 2020. He's not doing this because of that, because he was doing stuff that was really positive and great results for the African-American community even before this. But this is just one more measurement of his commitment.
Well, I think people will begin to recognize what's going on. You know, this is not about Democrats or Republicans. It's about people who are American citizens and the fact that the rising tide lifts all boats. And this is the way that it's thought about, and that's why it's working.
Lowest unemployment ever for Black Americans.
It came down even lower in the last analysis.
Are you having fun? All things considered, would you rather be doing brain surgery? I mean, honestly, it's easier than what you're doing here, right?
Probably. You're dealing with more reasonable people.
Great to see you, Mr. Secretary. Don't be a stranger.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.